A lot of financial advice online sounds good, but not all of it's true. Some of it has been passed down from generation to generation, while others have been spreading on social media through bad financial influencers. Today, we're talking about money myths that people still believe. And honestly, some of these myths may be holding you back financially without you even realizing it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, a licensed certified public accountant with over 15 years experience in corporate and public accounting. I have an extensive background in accounting, audit, and taxes. And I'm all about helping you take control of your money by living smarter. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on all notifications. And check out the blog site where we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In this video, we're breaking down the most common myths, the truths behind them, and what you should actually do instead. If you enjoy practical financial advice made simple, make sure you like this video. Let's jump into it. Let's kick our conversation off by talking about why money myths even matter. These money myths matter because they can cause really bad financial habits. As a CPA over the last 15 years working with individuals and small businesses, the one thing that I've learned is that everything is really situational to the individual. Nothing is a cookie cutter. What works for one person may not work for another. So, following these money myths, it may work for you in one instance, but it may not work for the next person. So, you have to really watch what you're doing and make sure you're working with a financial professional, whether that's a CPA, a financial advisor, or someone else who is good money managers. These things can spread fast, especially nowadays with social media. There's a lot of information out there on a lot of these money myths that people are promoting that may really, like I said, end up hurting you in the long run. Just remember, the biggest thing when it comes to trying to build yourself financially, whether you're trying to build wealth or just build sustainability, is that consistency and habits are two of the biggest things that you could build. It's just like going to the gym and becoming a better exercise lifter. Consistency and showing up to do the work every day is what matters more than trying to follow the latest trends. Because all you're going to do is hurt yourself in the long run and really wonder why you aren't getting to where you want to be. Money myth number one is that you need to be rich to invest. One of the biggest myths out there is that investing is only for wealthy people. A lot of people think they need thousands of dollars before they can start investing, but that's completely false. Today, you can start investing with very small amounts of money. Some apps let you start with $5 or $10. The real key is consistency. If someone invests even small amounts every month over a long period of time, compound interest can turn that into a significant wealth. Waiting until you have money usually delays the process. And also, just remember, investing is not just going out and buying stocks, ETFs, or any of that stuff in the stock market. It can also be investing in yourself, whether that's going back to school, picking up a new skill, reading a book to educate yourself on something else. Investing in your future doesn't always mean going to the marketplace. It could also mean doing something for yourself to help better your future. Because remember, no one will take care of the old you like the young you. So you can invest not only in the stock market, but also be sure to invest in the skills that you need in order to make it by. Money myth number two is that credit cards are always bad. Now, let's talk about credit cards. Credit cards themselves are not evil. The problem is misuse, which is what I see most often. If you constantly carry high balances, paying interest, yes, that can hurt you financially. And also rushing to think that everything is an emergency or putting everything on your credit card really leaves you in a financial bind and puts a strain not only on your financial health, but also on your mental health. But when used responsibly, credit cards can build your credit score, help you to earn rewards, protect against fraud, and help with travel perks. Remember, if you're looking to open up a credit card and you need some advice, you want to look for something that has some kind of rewards program, whether that's cash back or whether you can earn points or earn some kind of travel mileage. That's what you really want to do. You want to be able to not only be able to use your credit card responsibly, but also earn some type of reward or perks for using that credit card. For instance, I have a credit card, uh, and I get points for using gas. So only time I really use my credit card is when I'm going to fill up my tank, and then I make sure I pay that off at the before the end of the month or before the due date. I pay that balance off because not only am I building my credit score, but I'm also earning rewards through the reward program by using the specific gas station that allows me to earn cashback rewards. And then it protects me against fraud with all the different skimming devices that are going around. It also protects me against that. So I would advise you could do the same thing with your credit card. I wouldn't put everything on your credit card. If you can avoid certain things, I definitely would. But remember, everything doesn't need to go on your credit card, and not everything is an emergency. The key is paying off your balance consistently and avoiding any unnecessary spending. Money myth number three is that budgeting means no fun. A lot of people hear the word budget and immediately think stress, but a budget is not about eliminating fun. It's about creating a plan. A good budget actually gives you permission to spend because you already planned for it. You can still go out to eat, you can still travel, and you can still buy the things you enjoy most. The difference is you're doing it intentionally instead of randomly. Budgeting gives you control, not restriction. Money myth number four is that carrying a balance helps your credit. This myth, for whatever reason, refuses to disappear. You do not need to carry a credit card balance to improve your credit score. In fact, carrying debt can actually hurt your score because your utilization goes up. What helps your credit is one time payments, low balances, long credit history, and responsible usage. The rule of thumb is you want to keep your balance under 10% or 20% of your actual limit. So let's say your limit is $1,000 on your credit card. You want to keep your balance under 20% of that $1,000, which is going to be $200. But I would say you really want to keep it under $100. I would say you don't really want to go over 10% of your balance if you can help to. And if you're not, you really want to get it down to under that 10% of whatever your credit card limit is. Remember, paying your card off consistently is usually the best move financially. Money myth number five, saving money is impossible. Yes, things are expensive right now. Inflation is real. But many people think they can't save large amounts. There's no point in saving at all. That mindset is dangerous. Even small amounts matter because saving is about building habits and consistency. Cutting a few unnecessary expenses each month can slowly build an emergency fund over time. The goal is progress, not perfection. And remember, when you put a budget in place, this really helps with saving money because now you can see where your money is going and how much you need to put away. You also understand where your spending is at. So, in order to save, you really need to have a budget and understand where your money is going so you can cut out some of those unnecessary expenses or at least rein back in some of those things that you're spending money on. Maybe you can cut back a little bit on what you're doing. Money myth number six, more money fixes everything. A higher income helps, but it does not automatically solve financial problems. A lot of people increase their income, but they also increase their spending at the same time. This is what we like to call lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, then you upgrade the car. You need to get another raise, you upgrade the apartment. You get another raise, and you spend more eating out. And suddenly, you still feel broke. Financial success is more about managing money well than simply making more money. Money myth number seven is that emergency funds are only for families. Everyone needs an emergency, regardless whether you have a family the size of a football team or if you're single as a dollar bill. An emergency fund is something that's non-negotiable. Unexpected expenses happens to everybody, regardless of your family status. Those dreaded car repairs, those unexpected medical bills, that job downgrade or loss, and those pet emergencies. Without savings, people usually turn to credit cards or loans, and this can hurt you in the long run and even cause damage to your mental health. Even starting with a small emergency fund can reduce financial stress tremendously. So remember, the goal here is to be consistent and to build habits. Again, that's what this channel is all about. It's all about teaching you how to build habits and how to be consistent. You don't need to start off with $1,000 in an emergency fund. Start off with maybe 50 bucks and build from there. Even being able to save $5, $10, $20, that's enough to start building your emergency fund because over time, that's going to build. And remember, wealth is built through consistent, boring actions, not through some quick get rich. And that's not what we're all about here. Our final myth for today, myth number 8, is that wealth is built quickly. Social media has really made people think financial success should happen overnight, but real wealth is usually takes years of consistency, being sure to make those good habits you're doing every day consistently, discipline, making sure you're putting those brakes on financially when you're feeling emotional or you're feeling excited or sad, being able to say, hey, I'm disciplined enough to not spend this money, being patient. Remember, setbacks are going to happen, but are you patient enough to stay in the game? And making smart decisions. Most financially successful people did not get rich instantly. They built good habits and stuck with them over time. Slow progress is still progress. So, what's our bottom line? At the end of the day, financial success starts with understanding the truth about money. A lot of these myths sound believable, but they can seriously slow down your financial growth if you follow them blindly. The good news is that small changes today can completely change your future financial life. If you enjoy practical financial advice made simple, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time to break down how to handle budget overages. Thanks for watching.